Hello, my name is Charles Gjers. I'm the president of MDI. I'm now in my second year in this office, and has my life changed, kind of beyond belief. Being president was something that just wasn't on my radar as a thing that I would ever do or had no aspirations of becoming, and yet here I am doing this job, and the benefits to me personally have been absolutely enormous, and I hope the organization has benefited as well. Since taking this job, a number of things have happened in my life personally, and a number of things have happened in MDI, all of which have turned out to be great. First of all, let me roll the clock back an additional 20 years, back to a time before I was part of MDI, before I was part of a men's team. When I looked at this from the outside and didn't quite know what I was looking at, a time when I saw some men that had something that I couldn't quite identify, but yet I knew I wanted. There was this spirit and camaraderie they had that was missing in my life. And for all practical purposes, the life I was living was suitable. Looking at it from the outside, I was operating a mid-sized company, being very successful with that. I had a wonderful home, a beautiful wife, kids. It could be the Mr. America Cleavers, and yet there was this thing that I knew that I needed. And then I met some men that had that to the 10th degree. These men had a bonded relationship where they trusted each other, they counted on each other, and they knew that no matter what was going to happen, all of them would be there for each other. So I found out a little about it. Being the successful man that I was, I tracked down an open house. I'm a do-it-alone kind of person. Got myself registered for an initiation event, and a week later, I was sitting in a room in Oakland, California with 250 men. My life changed on that weekend in a way that is inexplicable. One of the men that was in that weekend is still a man on my men's team and one of my best friends. I look to those men and the experience we shared as a life-changing moment. It was the time when the life of Charles Gjers was put into another dimension that I wouldn't have recognized ahead of time. Since then, I've been a member of a men's team, and that men's team, which is an MDI men's team, follows the same mission that our organization has, and that is to cause greatness by mentoring men to live with excellence, and as mature masculine leaders create successful families, careers, and communities. That's what we do as a team, that's what my men's division does, and that's what MDI as an organization does. That's our work. This work has manifested itself in hundreds of different ways. Ways that help men to be better fathers in their home, to be an example to the apprenticeshipping their sons into manhood, to taking leadership roles in their home, to making a difference at their work, where they operate with more integrity and honorable ways of being that they didn't have before. They quit taking shortcuts, and all of a sudden they're promotable. As an organization, we do community service work, we do things for women's shelters, we do build lodges, we've got a place in New York where we're contributing in a major way. There's just no end to the list of the things that we can accomplish and have accomplished. I'm proud, very, very proud to be the leader of that organization. So what are the things I consider critical about MDI and its future, where we're at today and where we're going? First of all, I believe the thing that lays out in front of us that is truly mission critical is the cause that we've adopted to end abuse. I think that'll define much of what our future is, and it's a lot of work, and in some ways seems like it's going to be an impossible task. But I know that if we're diligent, the men of MDI are capable of producing the miracle it's going to take to be successful in that endeavor. Nobody thinks it's okay, but somehow it's become acceptable. It's part of our social condition. So our stand today is that it's not okay, and it's not going to be part of our social condition. We're going to change that. So, what's my life like today? In many ways, it looks a lot like the life I had before I became involved in men's teams. One thing that's changed is I'm 20 years older. But the other thing that's changed is that even though the toys may be the same, even though I'm still driven by wanting to look good and avoid looking bad at all costs, none of that's really changed. But inside here, in my heart, there's a lot that's changed. Because now lives me caring about you, me caring about men that are in my life and wanting the very, very best for them. Not only those men, but their families, their neighborhoods, and the communities they live in. When you have a little look at my life, it's like, what's different? Well, I don't know. I still like loud motorcycles, fast cars, big trucks. I love my dog. One of the other things that's really changed in my life is that I have an 11-year-old girl that now lives with us. That has really changed my life. She's come into our life through society's need to have her have a place to live. And I got to tell you, I love this kid with kind of an unbelievable passion. And my wife and I, even though we've been married for 20 years, have 5 kids. We don't have children of our own. So she fills a huge void that's been in our home. We haven't even known it was there. But when we sit down to dinner and I look across the table and I see this kid, there's a completeness in my family that hasn't been there for quite a while. She's truly, truly a precious soul. So, MDI. I think that our context around enrollment, it's kind of it's a word where some people hold like sales or some other terrible taboo. But I can tell you, if somebody would ask me what my profession was, I would say I was a salesman, and I'm damn proud of it. That's a profession where solutions are put forth. That's where winning men come to problems that are difficult to face and provide solutions. And that's the way I hold enrollment. I've done a lot of coursework, a lot of weekend stuff with different organizations, but I can tell you that my ability to enroll others into what I'm up to is the thing that defines me and whatever success I'm going to have or not have. Without that, without being able to engage others in my life, I'm single, alone, and I can only manifest my own efforts. With others, there's no limit. I could leverage thousands. I could move the world. And I believe that is what's necessary in MDI. Touched, moved, and inspired by what we are up to. And if we're not up to anything, it's very difficult to touch, move, and inspire. It's one of the things about the cause that's truly, truly great, is that there's no one who finds out that we're taking a stand against abuse on planet Earth that isn't somehow inspired and wants to be part of that. This is a place where his efforts will be rewarded and he can do some good on this planet. We'll change things here. So, all is said and done, we can talk forever, but where does the work really get done? And that is on men's teams. We have events that seem to skyrocket us into a place, it's almost like going out into orbit. But it's our men's team that fire the retro rockets to keep that orbit from degrading and crashing back into Earth and burning up in its atmosphere. It's on my men's team that truth is told. It's on my men's team where honesty is abundant. And it's on my men's team that people hold me accountable for the things I say. My men's team is a stand for me being the man that I've always wanted to be, and for me being a man that's only as good as his word. That is alive and well. Wouldn't it be great if being president of MDI was just a matter of riding around on motorcycles, keeping my knees in the wind and having one hell of a great time? I guess the truth of the matter is that wouldn't be great at all, because there's another part of this job that truly I love, and in many ways it's more fun than anything else I've ever done in my life. That's the ability to see men come to life under a form of leadership that they may not have ever experienced before. Something magnificent happens when we take men that didn't even realize half what their potential was, put them on men's teams, and watch them come to to a place in their life where they start to discover their own magnificence. It's a place where we can practice on being leaders, become better leaders if we already are, and have an opportunity to change the world. Only in MDI have I found that possible in my life.